are cold. Dark skin, light skin, medium tones. Pumping braids got mini afros. Thick lips got hips. Some of us.
Let's just hop right into it. Today's topic is prepping for the fall semester. For me, this is year 2, and this is my year 2 prep. Okay, so this summer I spent a lot of time reading books to kind of help me to reach peak productivity for myself. In just simple words, I wanted to see tested and tried methods of what works and how people have been able to become more productive. Some of the books that I read included Gritt, the 5 a.m. Club. What else did I read? Atomic Habits. There's a few others, but from reading those books, I was able to create some systems for myself. And the second brain, building a second brain, that was the key book, because that's the book that sparked the flame. After reading that book, I was like, okay, let me read some more. And building a second brain had a lot of good tools in there that I helped guide how I set up my schedule, how I set up my productivity for this year. So of course I spent a lot of time deleting files and things like that, because as you can imagine, I accrued so much stuff over the span of this year, just from TA, RAing, just random articles that I downloaded from projects that I thought I wanted to pursue, you name it, everything. So yeah, I had to get rid of those or put them in homes, somewhere other than my desktop. And so the main key thing from the books that I learned is that you have to make tasks as simple as possible. The things that you need to get done need to be as simple as possible. They cannot be super strenuous or super long tasks. And so I noticed that first I had to declutter my mind, declutter my space, and make that as simple as possible in order to ease my mind into delving into this semester. So I want to talk a little bit more about easing into your mind. And some of the things that I struggle with is actually just getting motivated, just doing the work, And honestly, Nike said it best, just do it. Whenever I feel I'm motivated, I really have to push myself and remind myself to just do it, because once I actually get up, I feel energized, I feel perfect. I feel like, why did I even just struggle to get up? Like, everything is fine. But it's just that little hump on your back in the morning, or when you're just chilling on the weekend, that, I don't want to do anything, And so when I just push myself to get the things done, I feel way better. I feel so much happier. One of the key tips that I learned from one of the books, I think it was Right No Matter What, was to keep keep note cards on your desk. And whenever you feel a barrier to engaging with whatever task you need to do, whether it's research, whether it's writing, and this book was particularly talking about getting yourself to write more. But you write what is the barrier, write what you believe that barrier between you and getting your goal done is. And I at least have enough power to do that, when I don't want to do anything. And that kind of puts me in the chair and it gets me started. I'm like, okay, you realize that barrier is not, that difficult to overcome. And sometimes it is. And, you may not write that day. But more than not, it's going to be something that you can overcome, or something that you can let go of and move on from. So that is kind of how I started to push myself to write as well. And it really did work for me, because I had to do it the other day. And I sat here and I said, I really don't want to do this. And I just cut up the note card, wrote it down. I was like, yep. And I started doing work. Because all I needed was that little push. And sometimes that's what you need too. And so another thing I did over the summer was I kept a reverse planner for a week. And even after the week, I was still kind of subconsciously keeping the reverse planner. Just being really intentional about what I was doing each day, and how I felt while I was doing it. And it kind of just pushed me to continue to do more. So that's kind of something that I noticed as I was doing the reverse planner, was that as I was writing everything down, it was like a free dose of dopamine, because I could like give myself a nice big fat check mark after I completed a task, which I loved. It felt so good. And then I realized that I was just able to do more, because I'm like, oh, it's only 10 a.m. I can do a lot more. You know, I can do more for the rest of the day, because I did all of this already and it's only 10. So it kind of gives me motivation to do more. And so keeping that reverse planner kind of helped me to see the patterns in my day, which kind of helped shape my schedule. In addition to all of that, the reverse planner helped me to think about and be intentional about what I was doing at each point in the day, because I realized, and it also helped me to realize, that I spend a lot of time thinking about and rationalizing what I'm going to do next, you know. And so I know that it's important for me to have what I'm going to do next as a solid thing. I don't need to be really making too many decisions about what to do next. I need to already have that planned before sitting down. So that's something that I realized was super important for me while I was keeping the reverse planner. And so the last thing that I've done to kind of help me to prepare for this new semester is find my core productivity apps. Over the summer, I've been working with a few apps and trying to, you know, build my systems, build my second brain in them, you know. So one of the apps that I love is Focus To Do, for my Pomodoro people. If you like the Pomodoro method, Focus To Do has it embedded in its system. What I love about Focus To Do is that it separates everything by today, tomorrow, upcoming, someday, completed. And so I really love that. What I also love about Focus To Do is that you can see exactly how long your deep work task might take you for the day. So for example, you know, you'll set your Pomodoros. You can set it for however long you want. They don't have to be 25 minutes. You can set it in the system and allot how many Pomodoros you'll need for that task. And it'll tell you when you set up your dates how long you need to spend on deep work tasks for that day. So for example, I know that I set 4.5 hours a day for deep work in my time blocks. So that means that if tomorrow says 5.5 hours or 6 hours of deep work and I need to get those things done tomorrow, then I can think about moving things around in my schedule. So it kind of just helps you to see like how long you expect to take to do tasks each day, which can kind of help you gauge your day and your system. And it also keeps track of how long things take you, so you can also further gauge how to allot time from seeing those patterns as well. Another app I use is Obsidian, which you can get on your desktop, and I love Obsidian. It helps you can use it for literature review, a conceptual map, and it helps you to see the various connections that you might have throughout your content or your literature. And you can use brackets to associate these connections. And Obsidian will create a map of content from those associations, which is really, really cool. I'm currently using Obsidian for my master's thesis, just helping me guide my literature review and to create the flow for my thesis. And so Notion is another one of those second brain apps, and it's super popular right now. Gorgeous girls use Notion. Anyway, you know the saying, honey. Notion also has a learning curve, so beware. But there's plenty of resources on YouTube. Also Obsidian, I don't think I mentioned that it also has a learning curve, so YouTube. Or you can DM me, I can help you with what I know so far. But back to Notion. It is a super productivity app. I love it for seeing due dates. I love it for seeing the different steps that I need to take for my projects. I love it to break down those steps for my projects. I like that. And there's so many different ways you can use Notion, so it's super important that you prioritize or find ways to prioritize the areas in your life in the system, because like I said, there's just so many ways to do it. So you want to make sure that you highlight the key parts of your life that you want in your Notion. So like I kind of alluded to a little bit, but I like Notion for pretty much like, you know, content creation and deadlines. And so this year I'm going to use Google Calendar and Notion for deadlines, but one of them will have a fake deadline to help me not procrastinate. One of them will have an earlier deadline. So I will do that this year. I don't know which one I'm going to use for the earlier deadline. Probably Google Calendar, because I use it more. So I can use that for the early deadline. The real deadline will be on Notion. And so on Notion, you can see like your countdowns, which I really love, super aesthetically pleasing. So I like that. So we talked a little bit about Google Calendar, but I'm using that to time block this semester. So it's going to be like, I literally blocked out my whole day every day. And so Friday is still pretty free, but it's going to be, I'm waiting to fill it with meetings. And so yeah, that's like my life. And then I have my work sessions built in there. I have my meeting times built in there. So, you know, if I'm meeting with a professor, or if I'm meeting with a student or something, whatever it is, it'll have to be during that free time that I have, that free hour for meetings. And so yeah, like I'm feeling really good about my time block, and I'm really excited. This school year is upon us. Whether you're ready or not, honey, you can't hide. It's here. So I hope some of these tools can help you transition a little bit more easily into your semester. I hope that we can share more resources with each other. You can DM me on Instagram or Twitter with some of your core productivity apps, and I will shout out your app and you if you DM me. So yes, I would love to hear from y'all and see, and I might even try it and see how it works. I need to find some new stuff anyway. So guys, please do share those things with me and help your girl out. Until next time.
There's pink black girls in my area code. Dark skin, light skin, medium tones. Permanent braids got mini afros. Thick lips got hips, some of us don't.